We'd like to thank Gulfstream Park for their sponsorship of this program and some of the other programming and events here at Capital OTB. Gulfstream Park, the championship meet, running now through Florida Derby weekend, March 31st.
Broadcasting live from the Capital OTB studios, this is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Good morning and welcome to Racing Across America on this Saturday morning. Pegasus Day down at Gulfstream. Big card, should be a lot of fun. Great racing around the country at other venues as well, but obviously all eyes on Gulfstream. This morning, I was going to say, I almost said this afternoon, but this morning with an 11 a.m. Kickoff to the card, it'll go to about 5:40 with is the scheduled post time of the Pegasus Fun Day. And who better to reach out to and talk about the Pegasus card with than our friend Brian Nadeau. You see him doing the pregame show, the paddock commentary down there at Gulfstream. Brian, good morning.
Hey, Seth, good morning to you and everybody back home, and thanks for having me. Yeah, big day down here. Very excited, very excited.
I will say this. I was thinking last night, I print up, obviously, doing the handicapping show, print up PPs, many PPs, and I would say most tracks you wind up with anywhere from maybe 19 to 26, 27, 28 pages, 55 pages for today's Pegasus card. I think it's safe to say by the end of the year, this would rank as probably one of the top 5 cards of the year.
Yeah, they did a hell of a job, Seth, to put this together, the racing office and everybody. The 3 Pegasus races, of course, but the depth and the talent on the card as a whole, as you kind of alluded to, is really second to none. So it's exciting. The pools today will be massive. So we're ready to kind of rip the Band-Aid off here. We're actually going on at about 9:45, pregame with a lot of replays and all that kind of stuff. So we are amped up, second. The weather, there's been some iffy weather days in the Pegasus. The weather is phenomenal today, so we're excited about all of it.
I was going to ask you about the weather because it's been a little dicey so far this year too. It's great, nice day, good, very good. And I wanted to hit also on. I love this. There are some guarantees in the late pick 5, late pick 4, late pick 3. The late pick 3, $350,000 guarantee. The late pick 4 and pick 5, $750,000 guaranteed, and $1 million for the rainbow. So it is a very, very big fun day. Let's jump into it. Pegasus World Cup, race number 13. I'm going to pull up a replay of the Clark going back to November at Churchill Downs. It's going to be number 5 Trademark winning over number 2 First Mission. I'm tilting towards First Mission this afternoon. I like both of these horses coming out of the Clark with a solid number, but I thought First Mission, being a little more lightly raced, may stamp himself as a player in the handicap division this year with a nice win today. So I'm going to go in that direction. I thought Hoist the Gold for Dallas Stewart was a little bit intriguing as well. Skippy Longstocking is interesting to me. What are your thoughts on the Pegasus?
I just want to hit on those guarantees for one quick second. I think we've already passed those guarantees, by the way. So that late pick 5 pool might literally be $2 million. So we kind of err on the side of caution. They'll be massive. Seth, First Mission, yes, and yes. He is the horse. I actually was saying to somebody earlier, we don't see a lot of First Missions in the Pegasus, Seth. And what I mean by that is a horse with upside, a horse kind of on the come. We see established stars, the Knicks Goes, the Arrogates, the California Chromes, the Gun Runners. We don't see First Mission all that much, and that means a horse with a world of upside. And I talked to Brad earlier in the week, last week maybe it was, And, he was excited that he finally got this horse going where he can get some races in him. He missed the Preakness, and he's had some hiccups, and now it's kind of the old all systems go angle. And I'm pretty confident, Seth, he's going to run the race of his life today. What that means at 5:40 in the PM against 11 rivals, I don't know, but I think we will definitely see the best First Mission has to offer today.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And again, I think we saw Saudi Crown stamp himself as a player in the handicap division this year last week, and I think First Mission stands a chance this week as well. I like that. We've already passed the guarantees. I like give me an idea of what it's like down there. I mean, we're a couple hours before post time. Are people already filtering in?
Not yet, but it's going to be. Well, I got here at 8:00, so I haven't been outside since.
Okay.
But there is a buzz here, Seth. You probably almost wouldn't recognize it because Gulfstream is like under full transformation for the Pegasus Day. There's, because it's a paid admission day, and it's just a red carpet kind of day. So they absolutely, like all week long, transform this place, and it takes a whole different look to it, and that's kind of what's been going on. So. It's going to start trickling in. It'll be a huge start.
Nice. All right, let's go to the Pegasus World Cup Turf Invitational. $1 million up for grabs. I'm going to pull up a replay going back to middle of November at Aqueduct, the Hill Prince. It's going to be integration for our friends at West Point and Shug. I think this may be the day that he validates what we anticipate he's going to turn into as a 4-year-old. I'm intrigued to see what he does. King Max, obviously very interesting to me as well, out of that close-up second in the Fort Lauderdale. And I talked on the handicapping show earlier, the filly Warm Heart for Aidan O'Brien adds a lot of intrigue in here. Your thoughts on the Pegasus Turf?
Yeah, I guess I'll start with her because it's cool to have her here. I mean, she is such a star. It's her last race, and she'll go off to the breeding shed after. So you have to ask yourself, and again, we're handicapping here, we're gambling here. Is this just let's just try to sneak one more in or what? Because it's just an afterthought. So she's here and then she's going on to the breeding shed. I think it's a good spot to try to play against her. This is 9 furlongs, a mile and an eighth. Very, very sharp. She's never run anything like this before. So I think it's a good time to try to beat her. Now, with that being said, she is so much the best horse, and she is all class. So they're going to have to run to beat her. But I do like integration in this spot for all the reasons. I talked to Shug last week, and he's just very, very high on this horse. And this horse has brought Shug here. Shug didn't bring this horse here, and he has got. I was actually talking to Terry Finley the other day, and I said, "Man, if Warm Heart wasn't in here, your horse is legitimately 7-5 in this race. I mean, that's how good integration is. There's not this is a nice race set, but there's no superstars, and there's a chance integration is going to turn into one of those. And if that is the case, he's going to be held to pay in this race today."
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be fun. They both add intrigue. Being lightly raced and stepping into older stakes company, integration is interesting, and then Warm Heart as the filly. So fun race there. And speaking of fillies is Mayor Turf Invitational, the Pegasus side of things, a little bit earlier on the card, mile and a 16th on the grass. I pulled up a replay of the Cardinal at Churchill Downs because if Star Fortress can repeat this, she becomes obviously very, very dangerous, a 104 buyer, and Star Fortress is going to be the number 2 horse here, but she's going to be easy to pick out because she wins by open lengths. All of that said, I played around with Fluffy Socks. I thought the last effort was pretty good in the Matriarch. Didia comes in off the disappointment in the Breeders' Cup, but before that was hard to argue against, and I think she's interesting as well. Your thoughts on the filly and Mayor Turf?
Yeah, well, if she runs back to the race at Churchill, she'll win, and she'll win by that margin because that race at Churchill was seismic. I mean, it was massive. You don't really know. That's a very funky turf course over there, and you wonder is she able to replicate that? That's very fair. This is a night and day different turf course here at Gulfstream Park. Very fast, very speedy. So what do we get today from her? And that's one of the reasons why I did play against her. I think I put her at second, but I do like Ruby Nell in this spot. She's my long shot on the card today. I don't know how far she can run against a group like this, but you know darn well she will be in front today. And this is a turf course that can be very, very speedy. And I'm just going to see if she can break running and try to wire them. The race at Santa Anita that she ran last time, albeit against 3-year-old fillies, albeit at a mile, was a freakish performance. Yeah. So I'm just going to see if she can pop this field prep. It's a race that plays, it's a race in a course that plays very, very speedy.
And get a Frankie Dettori flying dismount down at Gulfstream. That'd be fun too.
That would put a lot of smiles on a lot of people's faces today. No doubt about that.
Brian, we'll let you go because we know it's a busy morning, and you say you guys are going to kick off at 9:45 with the pregame.
Yeah, so Samantha and I are going to kick off at 9:45, and I highly suggest watching the first race because an old friend will be back on today, so that's going to be pretty awesome.
All right, very good. And again, wish you and everybody down there a lot of luck. Have fun. The guarantees are great this afternoon. As I said, 55 pages of PPs with big, full competitive fields. Congratulate everybody down there on doing a great job. And we will see you in just about a month or so.
Yeah, Seth, I can't wait to have you guys down here. I'm really looking forward to that. I miss everybody back home, and I hope everybody has a heck of a day today, Seth. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Brian Nadeau, again, you can see him down in the paddock for the pregame and pre-race as well, and we'll be watching them all day. Let me remind you once again, the late pick 3 guarantee $350,000, late pick 4, pick 5 guarantee $750,000. There's $1 million guaranteed in the Rainbow 6, and I agree with Brian. I think we'll blow through all of those with a really great card that everybody will be paying attention to this afternoon. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have some news and notes. And again, we have an abbreviated edition because everybody's kind of kicking off early this morning. 11 a.m. post time at Gulfstream, 11:45 at Aqueduct. But we'll be back with a little bit more right after this. Stay tuned.
And they're off in the Pegasus World Cup. They're off in the Fountain of Youth Stakes. And they're off in the Curlin Florida Derby. Forte wins. White Arborio almost home.
And Nyquist is still unbeaten. Orb and John Velasquez have won the Florida Derby.
Barbaro wins.
And there you have it. Northern Dancer will be the winner of the Florida Derby.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here at Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady, where the good times flow.
Welcome back to Racing Across America. Seth Merrow in the studio. We had talked to Pat McKenna back when the announcement was made official that the Belmont Stakes was coming to Saratoga. That was at the end of last year. Pat said the pricing and whatnot will be coming out sooner rather than later. We'll hear about it in January, and then things will be available in February. Well, a couple of days ago, the press release did come out as far as pricing for general admission at Saratoga for Belmont Stakes Festival weekend. The tickets go on sale at 10 a.m. on Thursday, February 15th. The 4-day festival, 23 stakes with $10 million plus in purses. You could buy general admission all 4 days for $90. That's a pretty good deal. I mean, 4 days for $90, $22 a day. That's fair. But if you want to buy single days, that's available as well. Thursday and Sunday, $10. So you're right in the ballpark of what the summer general admission is. Thursday and Sunday. Friday, it will be $30, and Belmont Stakes Day, it'll be $50. They're essentially keeping the prices just the same as they were at Belmont Park last year. So it all seems fair. And as I say, if you buy for all 4 days, the $90 ticket, I think is very reasonable. That gives you, general admission gives you access to the backyard and the picnic tables and the apron. There will be reserved picnic tables, that area over by the paddock. As usual, they'll have a drawing for those also. No alcohol permitted to bring in. You can't bring in any alcohol, but you can bring in a cooler with food. So good news for picnic table people. If you want to bring in that cooler with your subs or sandwiches or whatever, that's going to be available for the 4 days as well. So again, limited capacity of 50,000. No surprise there either. That's been kind of the Travers situation for the past few years. But again, tickets will go on sale Thursday, February 15th for the 4-day event at Saratoga. And I've said it right along. Excitement here in the Saratoga area through the roof. And I was just curious as to how the pricing would go, and I think it's fair and reasonable. $50 to get in is steep, no question about it, but it's the same as it was if you went to New York to go to the Belmont Stakes. So I think it's fair. But as I say, if you can or have the opportunity to go all 4 days, the 4-day package, I think at the 90 at $22 a pop, I think is absolutely fair. A couple of nights ago, hopefully you got a chance to watch it. It was streamed at various outlets online, the Eclipse Awards. And it was funny. There wasn't a whole lot of buzz going into it. And then after it was over, I was kind of surprised by how cut and dry virtually every category was when you looked at the final voting. And maybe that was what took some of the buzz out. There wasn't any real Horse of the Year. I think had the potential to maybe shake up a little bit. But again, even that one I don't think was as surprising as you may have. I think pretty much as we came in, got closer and closer, and you talked to people, you kind of felt like Cody's Wish was the one, certainly, and that's the way it worked out. And if you didn't see, I would get the NTRA had the Eclipse Awards on their YouTube channel. And so I would assume that once the live stream was done, that's probably still there. So if you look at the NTRA YouTube channel and you didn't see the Eclipse Awards, you can go back and watch the replay. And they did a pretty good job of kind of keeping it moving. I'm thinking it probably wasn't more than an hour. It couldn't have been more than an hour and a half. Our friend Steve Bick came out and handed out the Media Eclipse Awards. That was fun. But as I say, it was a little bit surprising to me. We talked about this with Mike McAdam beginning of the year, went over our ballots and talked about slam dunks and whatnot. There were clearly some slam dunks, but it turned out pretty much every category was a slam dunk. The notables, the steeplechase, that was probably as close. That had to be as close as any category. Merrymaker won that one over snap decision. Awakened was third. I missed that one because I used Awaken, but that was a tough category. Nobody jumped off the page at you. Nobody had more than one grade 1 win. But Merrymaker had the grade 1 and then had placed in a grade 1 subsequently. So Merrymaker gets the steeplechase with a fairly 69 to 50. So that one was kind of close. The other one's not so much. The other one that I was interested to see how it was going to shake out, and again, it turned out to not be close. Everybody you talked to had a little bit of a head scratcher with the female turf horse, but it turned out to be in Spiral getting that. And again, doing it fairly easily, 112 to 50 in Italian, second in there. But just to kind of go over, and again, no real surprises. The only two, I whiffed on the female turf because I used Warlike Goddess, and she wasn't a finalist, but she wasn't even in the top, 4 amongst the first place votes. She wound up 4th, 5th in there. So again, I kind of whiffed on female turf horse. And as I say, steeplechase, that one was the only other one where I didn't have the winner in the right position, but that was probably legitimately the toughest category. It does wind up, again, no surprise, 2-year-old male, 2-year-old female, Fierceness and Just FYI wound up to be the 2-year-old male and female. There were a couple of, certainly Fierceness was a slam dunk, that win up at Saratoga, and then the inexplicable follow-up, and then the redemption and the validation in the Breeders' Cup. He was clearly going to be the 2-year-old, but Just FYI, probably likely also the 2-year-old filly. That's the way it wound up. Archangelo, pretty easily the 3-year-old male, 193 to Auguste Rodin, 21, Arabian Night 3. So again, the first top 3 categories, Fierceness and Just FYI both had over 200. The other category, the other contenders had single-digit votes. So they were clear. Archangelo was clear. Pretty mischievous. Again, I was a little surprised there. I thought it might be tighter with randomized, but it was 182 to 24, so pretty mischievous coming out of the Kentucky Oaks and other nice stakes. Winds up an easy winner there. Older Dirt Male, again, pretty clear. Cody's Wish, 148 to White Barrio, 65. Idiomatic, again, very clear. 211 to Goodnight Olive, 4. On the male sprinter side of things, Elite Power, 183. Cody's Wish, 35. Female sprinter, it was 140 to 72. Goodnight Olive over Echo Zulu. Male turf horse up to the mark was 141. Auguste Rodin, 60. As I say, female turf horse in Spiral, 112 in Italian, 50. Owner and breeder Godolphin, again, pretty clearly had those win margins. Trainer, that one was interesting also. Trainer, I went back and forth between Bill Mott and Brad Cox. They both had great years. On the numbers, Brad Cox had a better year, but he has, on the numbers, more horses as well. But Bill Mott winds up with 3 champions, Just FYI, Cody's Wish, and Elite Power. But he also winds up with the Horse of the Year with Cody's Wish. So, and that's how my ballot went. And because of that, I voted Bill Mott Trainer of the Year. But I thought it was a tough decision for me, and I was curious to see how it would break out. And again, it was another one that was a pretty good margin. Bill Mott, 132, Brad Cox, 60. Then you went down to Steve Asmussen, 8, Chad Brown, 7. Jenna Antonucci with Archangelo wound up with 4 votes. Irod Ortiz, no surprise, wound up with 187. Now, the interesting thing here is when you have an eclipse ballot, you vote for top pick, second pick, third pick. But only the top pick counts for the actual eclipse. The other ones count to make the finalist. And I assume they do that in case there was like a complete slam dunk where, a horse kind of swept the table, then you wouldn't have any finalists listed. So I assume that's why they do the second and third. But again, only the top picks count. So when the finalists came out for Jockey of the Year, Javier Castellano had a great year, and a lot of people said the same thing. They really debated on his year and the stakes he won and whatnot. They debated, but it was just hard to go against Irad Ortiz, who also had a great year and had numbers that were phenomenal on the win end, on the money one end, on the graded stakes wins. So folks went with Irad, but when the finalists came out, Javier wasn't among the finalists. And so people were kind of like, well, that's strange. Well, it turns out on the first place side of things, he was right there. It was Irad Ortiz, clearly the winner with 187, but Javier Castellano was second with 7, Flavien Prat 17. Flavien Prat was 7. So again, on the first place side of things, Javier Castellano did wind up second. But again, it's just a quirk of the voting system. Apprentice jockey Axel Concepcion. And again, horse of the year was pretty clear. I was interested to see how the votes would break out. To me, it was between Cody Swish and Idiomatic. Idiomatic with a really good year, going really from January out until the end of the year, November, and running at the highest level. I went back and forth between that one and Cody Swish, but I eventually went with Cody Swish. For the other voters, for the voters overall, it was more, I guess, between Cody Swish and White Barrio, but it was pretty clearly after the votes were counted, Cody Swish. Cody Swish with 134, White Barrio 37, Idiomatic 21 as far as horse of the year. And again, we gave a little heads up to the media clips winners when they were announced earlier. They were actually announced, a couple of months ago, a month ago maybe. But our friend Sean Clancy from the Saratoga Special and Tim Layden for NBC Sports both did pieces that concentrated on the tragic situation with the test and Maple Leaf Mel, but they both won writing awards. NBC Sports for the Breeders' Cup won, and Woodbine won with a Secretariat. Last race documentary. So congratulations to the Woodbine folks who we're friendly with from our trips up there. There was also a multimedia award going to TDN. They do a nice job with their podcast, The Writer's Room. That got an award. And Carolyn Samanchik had a nice photo, Cody's Wish versus National Treasure in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, that picked up the photography award. So congratulations to those folks as well. All right. Knowing that things would kick off early down at Gulfstream, we planned for an abbreviated version of Racing Across America. I had handicapper support as well today. So we will wrap it up and send it down to Gulfstream. It looks like they're showing some replays now, but as Brian said, they'll kick off with their pregame show at about 9:45. So check that out. See if they can give out some interesting thoughts and winners on a big card. I'll be back. I was going to say, once again, I was going to say this afternoon. I've been stuck in that mode all morning long, but I'll be back later this morning with the early start at both Aqueduct and Gulfstream. Do want to remind you that here at the Clubhouse Racebook today, if you'd like to stop by, $100 knockout challenge. Come on down, have a little extra fun at the Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. But otherwise, if you're hunkered down at home, we would love to have you tune in. And with the early starts, I'll be back in about an hour and a half or so to kick things off OTB Live on a Saturday morning going into the afternoon. And again, it's 11 a.m. at Gulfstream, 11:45 for Aqueduct, and then the usual suspects in the mix a little bit later on as well. And let me just remind you one more time of the guarantees at Gulfstream today. Late pick 3, that should be fun. Late pick 3, $350,000 in the late pick 3 at Gulfstream. Late pick 4 and late pick 5 at Gulfstream, they're both $750,000, and there's $1 million guaranteed in the Rainbow 6 today. Brian said the weather is excellent. I will validate that the card is excellent as well. Nice, big, full fields throughout the afternoon. That second race for the maidens, I think, could produce some nice runners going forward. So should be a fun day. We'll be looking at all of it on OTB Live coming up, as I say, in about an hour and a half or so. But stay tuned. Just a few minutes down the road, we'll kick things off with the pregame shows and warm up for this fun Saturday late in January. But Seth Merrow, Racing Across America, wrapping it up. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in a few.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here at Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady, where the good times flow.
Gulfstream Park's championship meet brings world-class thoroughbred racing to South Florida each winter, and it's a prime reason to offer the best turf racing possible. Having the best surfaces is the key to offering a superior racing product. We are committed to attracting the world's best horses, trainers, and jockeys to run over our exceptional course. Gulfstream Park's new turf course will be unveiled this December.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now. We'd like to thank Gulfstream Park for their sponsorship of this program and some of the other programming and events here at Capital OTB. Gulfstream Park, the championship meet, running now through Florida Derby weekend, March 31st.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off-Track Betting.